Alright, YouTube says I'm live, so I must be live. Welcome in, welcome in. This is the Howdy Tech Show. This is episode 116, I believe it is. If I'm not mistaken, it's 116. I may be off on my count, but I believe it's 116. Welcome in. Little live stream that I do about every week. Took the last couple of weeks off to take care of some stuff. But basically, we talk about some tech news that came up in the last week or so. Give the community a chance to hang out with me, give me a little bit of one-on-one time with the community. We talk about whatever may come up. Today's topic is going to be AMD Zen 4, the 7000 series. AMD actually came out and had their release this past Monday. I believe it was past Monday. But anyways, we got that. We got news on DDR5. Because if you're going to go to the new Zen architecture, the AM5 platform, you're going to have DDR5. So I thought that kind of went hand in hand. GPU information I'm trying to stay away from this week. There ain't a whole lot going on in the rumor mill. Or nothing that I could find anyways that really interested me. So we're going to kind of stay away from that, but we will be talking about the AM5 platform and DDR5 today. So yeah, we got prices, we got specs, we got everything from AMD themselves. So the rumors about it is over with. You know, this is what you can expect out of the upcoming AM5 platform, which will be coming out here in a few weeks. There is a few disclaimers to throw out at the beginning of each one of these shows. I do drink me a cold Budweiser, so there is some alcohol consumption within the live stream. So I hope the weekend's finding y'all well. Cheers to y'all. So I am a truck driver by trade. That will be coming up later on in the live stream here. But that will... So there is some foul language. I try to keep it to a bare minimum, but every once in a while it does slip out. Sometimes it slips out. I try to keep it to a bare minimum. I try not to do it, but it does happen. So yeah, that may be an issue for you. If that or the drinking offends you too much, maybe this ain't the right live stream for you. You know, I'd rather not bear anybody away or say that you need to leave or whatnot, but I don't want nobody to feel uncomfortable either. So there is that. After we get done talking about the news, the AM5 announcement came out this past week in DDR5 memory. We'll talk about how the channel is done, what you can expect up on the channel. All that will be happening this week. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. We'll go ahead and flip you guys over here and we'll check out what AMD is offering with the AM5 platform. When we get done, I will give you my opinion on it. You know, it is my opinion. It's how I feel, how I think about it. So let's go ahead and we'll see if I can remember how to do this. We'll flip you guys over here. All the articles in today's video is linked in the description below if you'd like to do more reading on it. More than what I cover here in the live stream, you're more than welcome to do so. All my topics for the day came from Tom's Hardware, which is a pretty good source. They don't really follow the leaks and whatnot too much. They pretty well stick to the facts, so I think it's a pretty good source for the information for the live streams. Sometimes they go some other places, but this week it's all from Tom's Hardware. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Maybe. There we go. AMD Zen 4 Ryzen 7000 specs, release date, benchmarks, and prices listed. I believe they do a lot like I do. They do a lot of copy and pasting because this seems to be the same article heading that they've used in the past. I guess the big thing on everybody's mind, of course, is they did come out with 4 CPU choices. It's what they're launching with. You got the 16 core processor for $699. That's the 7950X. AMD's 6 core, which is the 7600X, going for $299. So that's kind of the price point you're looking at if you want to get on the AM5 platform when it first launches, as far as the CPUs go. AMD previous gen Ryzen 5000 series accomplished what was once thought impossible. The chip unseated Intel's best on the benchmark charts, of course, for gaming as a company. They got some other stuff here listed. I don't know how much of this we'll actually get into today. But here's the specifications for the Ryzen 7000 series processors. We have the Ryzen 9 7950X going for $699. That's 16 core, 32 thread. The base is 4.5, boost up to 5.7. Got 80 megabits of L2 and L3 cache. The TDP is 170 up to 230. Memory supported, which is, this says DDR5-5200. You have the Ryzen 9 7900X for $549, which is 12 core, 24 thread. 4.7 boost, or base, boost up to 5.6, 76 megabits of cache. 170 max TDP, or minimum of 170, max of 230, DDR5-5200. Ryzen 7 7700X is $399, 8 core, 16 thread, 4.5, boost up to 5.4, 40 megabits of cache, 105 watt TDP, with a question mark for the max. DDR5-5200 speed. Ryzen 5 7600X, $299, 6 core, 12 thread, 4.7, max up to 5.3, 38 megabits of cache, 105 watts up to an unknown max TDP. DDR5-5200 speeds for the RAM on it. Of course, we'll get into them RAM speeds here in a little bit. Excuse me. With the performance that they are getting, they're getting about 13% improvement with the PIC, which is pretty important for gaming if you're building a gaming computer. It results in a 29% improvement in single thread performance over the previous gen chips. AMD also claims up to 45% more performance in multi-threaded applications. I don't know why they got Amazon there. Must be sponsored. Must be some kind of something. Going head to head with Intel's chips, AMD claims that the high-end 7950X is 11% faster overall in gaming than Intel's flagship 12900K. And even the low-end Ryzen 7600 beats the 1200K by 5% in gaming. The chips also come loaded with the new tech, like the new integrated Radeon R&D A2 graphics engine, and supports AI instructions based on the AVX512. We have also learned plenty of new details about the 5nm Zen 4 7000 series Raphael, Zen 4 7000 Raphael processors, and the new wave of motherboards with the AM5 socket. Which we will get into the motherboards a little bit in this article. The first 4 standard desktop PC chips come on retail on September the 27th. Which, if you're watching this live, you're looking at about 3 weeks away. That's like 23 days, but about 3 weeks. But the company will also launch at least one 3DB chip cache model by the end of the year, which everybody's speculating to be the 7800X, which we'll have to see. Intel has its Raptor Lake processor proposed on the starting blocks, ensuring the AMD Ryzen 7000 will have stiff competition when it arrives. We have gathered all the information we know, officially and unofficially sources, into this article. We will update the article as we learn more, but here's what we know so far. And of course, here's what AMD came out with and showed on their presentation, at least, which pretty well we done ran down through the specs and the pricing for each chip. What else we got on this? This is the CPU roadmap. You got Zen 4 launching on the 27th. You got 3D cache. Not too sure. And then we have the Zen 4C. Not too sure on what that is. But I guess time will tell. The goals delivered versus the 12900K, 11% faster for core gaming, 44% more compute for creators, and 47% greater energy efficiency. So you're going to be able to get better performance with less power. That's always a good thing. Especially right now, everybody's looking to save money on the power bill. Got a 13% IPC uplift, with the max frequency now going up to 5.7, which equals up to the 29% total single thread performance gains over the 5000 series. There's the specs again. Speaking of the motherboards, down here they kind of talk about the motherboards down here a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. The 759, 7900, 7700, and the 7600 launches on the 6 nanometer, of course. HOWDY 5 DDR5 memory controller, which DDR5 will be required for these. They do have a PCIe 5.0 interface. DDR5 only, of course, we knew that. Up to 125% more memory bandwidth per core or DNA2 integrated graphics present on the HOWDY. Very basic and low power. Zen 4 architecture has a 13% IPC gain, 29% general gain in single-thread workload, 45% improvement in multi-threaded workloads, 28% performance per watt gains, which 28% in performance per watt means they can run at a lower power consumption and give you more performance, which is a good thing. Sorry about that, guys. We do have the AM5 socket, which is going to be an LGA, which is different. Up to this point, they use a PGA. PGA means depends on the processor. With the LGA, it's going to be like an Intel chip. But the pins will be located on the motherboard, not necessarily the CPU like it has been in the past. But it is the LGA 1718 socket. If you're running an AM4 motherboard right now, AM4 system, your cooler will be backwards compatible with it, which is very nice to see. A lot of times you don't get to see that. 600 series chipsets for the motherboard. You got the X670 Extreme, the X670, the B650E, which is Extreme, and the B650 motherboards. Up to 170 watt TDP, 230 watt peak power. Supports the AVX 512 and VNNI. Not sure on what the VNNI is. Never heard of that before in my life, but it also supports that. At least one 3D cache Zen 4 model will come to the market this year. So they're saying by the end of 2022, we should have a B cache, 3D B cache. CPU on the Zen 5, on the Zen 4 models, or the AM5, the AMD 5 motherboards. The 7000 series processor will arrive on September the 22nd or 27th of 2022. They will be accompanied by the AM5 motherboards, and the high-end X670 and 670E chipsets will be available at launch. With the B650E and the B650 chipsets will arrive in October. New XPO extended profiles for overclocking DDR5 memory kits will also be available at launch, but PCIe 5.0 SSDs will come to market in October. So by buying into this AM5, you're going to be looking at a 670 or a 670 Extreme motherboard. You're going to have to wait a little while longer, at least a couple weeks, before you'll be able to get into the more budget option, or what they're considering budget option, which to me sounds a little bit expensive. But the B660E and the B650 will be coming out in October sometime. The XPO is a new standard for RAM overclocking, where you have XMP for Intel and you have DOCP on most motherboards for AMD right now, or sometimes they call it XMP as well. But now they're going to have an eXPO, which should give you a little bit more tuning within your XMP profiles, hopefully, or at least better overclocking availability. PCI 5.0 SSDs will come into the market in October. The AMD 7000 series chips will make just the first step in the Zen 4 journey, as the company delivers on its CPU roadmap and brings them to the desktop and notebook markets. AMD will also use the Zen 4 architecture for its data center CPU roadmap as well. And here's comparing some of the prices compared to what we've seen last gen when they first launched. 7950X coming in at $700. The 5950X launched at $799. The 7900X will come in at $549, which is the same price as the 5900X. 7700X coming out $399, which is a little bit higher than what the 5700X launched at. It was $299. The 7600X came out at $299, and the 5600X was supposed to come out at $299, or supposed to come out at $199. It came out at $299. So apparently you're going to be able to get a little bit better performance for less money out of the bat. So what they're saying, here's the breakdown of it. The 16 core, 32 thread 7950X is $100 less than the price of the 5950X at launch. The 7900X has the same launch price as the 5900X, but AMD has raised the launch price on the 8 core, 16 thread Ryzen 7 7700X by $100. And keep the entry-level pricing at the same of $299 with the 7600X. But that's good news for us, because that means you'll be able to pick up a 5000 series processor for less money, hopefully. They should drop in price as these new ones come out. I'm not too sure on what this is. AMD Ryzen clock rates. Yeah, that talks about how the megahertz goes up between each class. If you want to read about it, like I mentioned, the article is listed in the description below if you'd like to read about it. As with AMD's latest chips, they will only occur on 2 cores. AMD has confirmed that the 7000 series still features Precision Boost 2. They expose the maximum boost frequency possible at all times. We also know that the Intel Raptor Lake will boost to 5.8 gigahertz, though, and perhaps higher. So pretty much they're keeping the same auto overclocking features. As what they had before. AMD's also bumped up the TDP rating from 65 watts for the Ryzen 9 models, and a 45 watt increase for the Ryzen 5 models. The 7800X does not see a TDP increase. So they're going to be running hotter, going to need a little bit better cooling, which is expected for the extra power that you're going to be getting out of these chips. They also have down in here someplace, you want to see some of the photos that AMD's actually shared about this. If you guys really want to look at the photos, they are linked in the description below. Down through here someplace, they talk about how it actually stacks up against the Raptor Lake that hasn't even launched yet. So I don't know how it's going to perform against Raptor Lake, but they say that they know that it's going to be better than what Raptor Lake is. Most of Zen 4 7000 benchmarks come from AMD, and as with a vendor-provided benchmark, you should approach these results with caution because the test conditions could be favorable to AMD chips. Of course, you need to wait till third-party websites or YouTubers or whatever actually get their hands on the chip and do their own testing. Me personally, I wouldn't run out and buy into the AM5 platform, which we will get into here in a moment. There's a lot of caveats, excuse me, to the AM5 platform. Especially the cost of entry, the price of the CPU itself, they've kept reasonable, I guess, compared to what they've done in the past. But also, talking about the motherboards and whatnot, the entry level or the budget side of it, they're saying coming in like $125, $150 for the budget motherboards. Then you got the cost of DDR5 memory, which we'll get into here in a second. But they are, there is anytime you lead into the new generation of stuff, you will be paying a little bit extra money. The chips seem not to be too much overly priced compared to what last gen is. You're getting the new socket type, you're getting all the PCI Express 5.0. Which to me ain't a big selling point, but to a lot of people it is. You're getting the faster SSDs with the 5.0, which I don't think there's a whole lot of them on the market, if there's any at all on the market yet. Which should improve on the speeds of the SSD, depending on the price of what a Gen 5 SSD costs. It's all going to vary. The big thing is the DDR5 prices, which what we're going to get into here. We are going to get into the DDR5 prices and what AMD actually recommends as a sweet spot for these new processors. Let me flip you over here and we'll get into that now. There we go. AMD confirms DDR5-6000 RAM is the sweet spot for the Ryzen 7000 series CPUs. So, the budget DDR5 ain't going to be the best performance for the Ryzen 7000 CPUs. AMD's recently unveiled the company's Ryzen 7000 series processors. Has added information regarding their best RAM for Zen 4 chips. AMD officially Discord channel, memory overclocking on the Ryzen 7000 processors. Different slightly from the 5000 series Premier chips. It is no longer essential to maintain a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio with the Infinity Fabric clock, Unified Memory Controller, clock UCLK, and Memory Clock MEMCLK. Instead, he recommends users leave the FCLK on the auto setting and overclock the DDR5 memory modulars and the memory controller at a 1-to-1 ratio as a result. Best configuration is an auto 1-to-1 ratio. The Zen 4 ports have a default FLCK of 1733 MHz, supporting DDR5 5200 memory by default. Believes that DDR5-6000 will be the sweet spot for the Zen 4 based on cost, stability, performance, availability, and ease. In contrast, Zen 3 sweet spot was DDR4 3600, 1800 MHz clock, and a DDR4 4000 and 2000 memory block, being that the golden standard. Nonetheless, Hancock said that in some scenarios, when suppressing a 2000 MHz block could yield better performance. However, it should be the priority for most users. We'll take AMD's word until we can run our own RAM benchmarks on Zen 4. We have current DDR5-6000 16 gigabit, 2 8 gig stick memory kits starting at $165, or the 32 gig, 2 16 gig offering at $219. A decent DDR4 4000 memory kit costs half of a DDR5 memory kit. However, we already know beforehand that migrating to an AM5 socket commands a small fortune due to the chip maker's decisions not to maintain DDR4 support in Zen 4. Although the pricing of DDR5 has improved over the last few months, it still carries a significant premium over the DDR4. There aren't any shortages anymore because it's still more expensive to produce DDR5. Nevertheless, AMD is optimistic that the DDR5 supply and pricing should continue to get better. So they're hoping and they're praying that DDR5 supply gets better and the pricing continues to drop on it. 6000 speed recommendation sounds a little iffy to me. Which the DDR5 memory has been coming down in price some. So hopefully once this launches in about 3 weeks, hopefully we'll be able to get some DDR5-6000 at a decent price. Hopefully anyways. And again, they talk about how they will be available on the market on September the 27th, along with the new 600 series motherboards and the XPO certification for DDR5 memory, which is the new overclocking standards. Hold on guys, let me get this figured out. There we go. Now you can see my pretty mug. Now you can have nightmares tonight. I haven't actually looked this up. But we'll go ahead and do it live here. See what DDR5-6000 is going for right now. Maybe we will. Memory, we're gonna go with DDR5. DDR5 speeds. I ain't worried about the speeds. Well, speeds need to be 6,000 megahertz, right? Ain't that what they said? They said that's gonna be the sweet spot. That's a pretty fast speed for them, even for DDR5 memory. We'll flip over here and we'll look at the prices of it. There's the prices on PC Port Picker for DDR5, 6,000 megahertz speed. Looks like you get a single kit, a single stick for $115. You can get a 16 gig stick for $133. They say 2 8 gig sticks, which I didn't know DDR5 was supposed to be putting out 8 gig sticks for $188. If you want to run dual channel, 16 gigs. And it's even got some of that fancy ARGB that everybody wants on it there. But by looking at this listing, this right here is what's gonna, I think that's gonna play a big part in it. CL40, that's the Cast Legacy. Is gonna play a big part in the memory speeds, I believe. Unless AMD has done something with the Infinity fabric. That CL40 may play a big part on how good the RAM will actually perform. Which you will need to wait for independent reviews. What else do we got here? 2 16 gig kit, which will give you 32 gigs. That's G-Skill's Ripsaw Z5 for $219. So you're still going to be paying a premium. They're still going to be paying a premium for DDR5 to be able to get on the platform for AM5. It's sad to say, but it is still, must be still a thing. So you take into consideration that the 7600 CPU is going to cost you $300. The base motherboard, or the more budget entry motherboards for this series, is going to be the B660 motherboards, which is coming out in October. You're going to be looking at a minimum of $125 for that. To get that RAM kit, you're looking at another couple $100 for the RAM kit. You're looking at probably $500 for your basic AM5 platform system. Which I haven't done one in a while. But you could actually put together a complete system using a 3000 series processor, possibly a 5000 series processor, for the same amount that it would cost for your RAM, CPU, and motherboard on the AM5 socket. So, you know, it's going to definitely be an experiment. It's definitely going to be a, you know, wanting to be on the latest and the greatest compared to maybe taking on something a little bit older. The way you spend your budget on this, I think AMD, especially with the motherboards, there is an article out there, or people have talked. Even AMD at their announcement said their budgeted motherboard is going to start at about $125. In the past, you could get a decent B550 or a B450 starting at $80, $90. So it's going to increase the cost of the entry level into the AM5 socket, into the latest and the greatest for AMD. Some people say that this is a play on Intel because AMD has taken over a good portion of the CPU market, and now they're starting to capitalize on it because of them raising the prices, or the entry level prices of the AM5 this time around. So yeah, there is that. The prices is pretty high, which leads me to my next one, which is DDR5 pricing. Entry-level DDR5 prices expected to drop rapidly this year. Of course, it's going to drop this year because now Intel and AMD both use DDR5. I wish they would have dropped a little bit more before AM5 going to launch. MTcoiner's in the house. Welcome in, buddy. Glad you could hang out with me this weekend. Welcome in. But DDR5, they're saying the prices they've actually dropped here lately, and they expect to rapidly drop this year. I'm hoping it's going to happen. Like I said, AM5 will require DDR5 memory. They're saying that you need a 6000 megahertz kit, which is going to be the sweet spot for AM5. In the second half of 2022 and continued to drop in 2023, DDR5 prices reported to fell by 20% in July, which is a pretty good percentage. 20%, that's nothing to laugh at. That's definitely pretty good. 20% price drop within a month or so ain't bad. And chip vendors have begun to offloading entry-level DDR5 chips, which is a bad thing for AMD because they done announced that they recommend a 6000 megahertz, which ain't a entry level into DDR5. And if the 6000 megahertz, if you've seen it whenever I did the PC perk picker, 6000 megahertz is fairly towards the top tier of the DDR5 right now. But they say it's going to be the sweet spot for AM5. Digital Times says prices will continue to drop rapidly in the second half of 2022 and will hit a sweet spot in 2023. Falling DDR5 prices are also expected to boost the adoption rate of DDR5. This is on top of the rapid price reduction of DDR5 this year. Unfortunately, these sources don't say DDR5 sweet spot pricing, but we expect optimal prices to be close to the current DDR4 pricing, which would be pretty nice because right now DDR4 memory, it is fairly reasonably priced. Of course, it turns the end of its life cycle. They're going to get the best performance for the best prices, and that's pretty well what we've hit. Was end of life for DDR4. The timing of reducing the DDR5 prices couldn't be better. With the release of AMD DDR5 only 7000 series processor, DDR5 will become a highly demandable item very soon. Lower prices will also help AMD stay competitive with Intel's cheaper DDR4 supporting Alder Lake and Raptor Lake alternatives. Well, excuse me. Despite this, even Intel will also benefit from the DDR5 price reductions. Intel has already supported DDR5 for almost a year with Alder Lake, but due to pricing issues, most of Intel users may be stuck with DDR4 instead of moving to DDR5. Once DDR5 demand increases and prices decrease, we can expect new Intel buyers to follow suit and purchase high-speed DDR5 memory kits instead of DDR4 kits. This will be optimal for Intel since the Alder Lake architecture can take advantage of DDR5. You have to swap out your motherboard if you want DDR4 with an Alder Lake system. And immense bandwidth upgrades in various workloads. MTcoiner is on a little family vacation this weekend. Last weekend was the water park. Well, I'm glad you're spending some time with your family. That's always important, buddy. Make time for the family. Enjoy the little ones. Enjoy the significant other and all that good, happy stuff. It's time to, you need to make a little bit of time for the family and then enjoy yourself. Currently, DDR5 prices are already very low compared to where they were in late 2021. A baseline of 4800 megahertz, 32 gig dual kit. DDR5 memory costs $149. At the time of this writing, the higher frequency kit costs as much as DDR4 was during the memory shortage a few years ago. For instance, prices of the 3200 gig 6000 megahertz kit with decently tight 36 timings cost $239. For reference, DDR5 pricing just 9 months ago was double this price at the very least, with the high-end kits going for upwards of $800 to $900, with sources saying prices will rapidly decline. Again, as they did in 2021, we should expect DDR prices to continue to slide throughout 2023. That's good news. DDR5 memory prices dropping. Me personally, like I said, I'd rather seen the DDR5 prices drop a little bit more than what they did before Ryzen is going to actually launch theirs. But you still got 3 weeks, almost a month before the AMD 5-socket launches. So yeah, it may drop quite a bit, and within that time frame, within the next 3 weeks, especially with AMD releasing, depending on the supply of the materials needed to make DDR5, I think it will drop. I'm hoping it will drop quite a bit by then. But being 3 weeks out, it dropped, what did he say, 20%? Yeah, it dropped 20% within July. So hopefully it'll drop another 20% or even more than 20% before AM5 drops. That would be nice to see. That would make going to AM5 a little bit more viable option. I don't know why my lighting is the way it is today, guys. I just looked at the stream. I got a little bit of a tint to me for some reason. I don't know. I was having some difficulties this morning while I was doing my filming for this upcoming week. This kind of upcoming week's video. Which, yeah, there will be a video this week, believe it or not. But that's going to pretty well wrap it up for the news stories I picked out for today's episode. It was mainly about the Zen 4 Ryzen 7000 series and the DDR5. Like I mentioned, I think they kind of go hand in hand. Just due to, AM4, AM5, Zen 4 processors needing the DDR5. Bricks, yo, Dave, it's been a long time. Yes, it has, buddy. You're in the house. Welcome in. I took the last couple of weekends off, which I'll get into here in a few minutes about why I did that. But I had some personal stuff going on, and to better myself in the full-time job. Yes, I do. I do remember you. I'm a very small channel, so I do remember you guys quite often. You guys are my main supporters. I have a feeling you guys are my main viewers. You guys mean a lot to me. You are my core audience. And you're part of it. You know, you guys are basically what got the channel up to what it is today. I do remember you. I don't remember you really joining in the live streams very often. But I do remember your comments and all that. You do come into the live streams from time to time. But with that being said, let's flip over here and see how the channel's done this past week. It hasn't done real great, but it hasn't done real bad either, I guess. What do you think I should buy, an RTX 3060 Ti or the 6700 XT? If you're buying just for gaming purposes, the 6700 XT would do, it performs better at a lower price point. If you're needing ray tracing, or if you're needing the NVIDIA encoders, of course I'd go with the 3060 Ti, depending on what you're looking to spend. Them cards actually go toe-to-toe pretty good. If you don't really care about ray tracing, you really don't care about the NVIDIA encoder, I'd go with the 6700. You get a little bit better performance out of it, and it costs you a little bit less money. I definitely lean towards the 6700 XT, just based on price alone. The 3060 Ti still holds pretty good premium for an NVIDIA graphics card. You get a little bit better performance out of 6700 if you're looking just to game. If you need the NVIDIA encoder or you care about ray tracing, I'd go with the 3060 Ti. Alright, let's, well, I gotta memorize this again. Flip you guys over here so we can see how the channel's done here. And I've taken the last 2 weeks off. I haven't done the live stream. I haven't done the videos. Last couple weeks I've been off. I'll get into that here in a minute. But it looks like we do have 7 new community members or 7 new subscribers to the channel. Welcome in. If you guys are watching this now or you watch the replay of it, welcome to the community. I'm glad to see you guys decided to hit that subscribe button down there in the corner. As far as views go, in the past week, we've got about 6,000 views. Looks like 5,919 views in the past week. This time of the year is pretty slow for YouTube, but it's also a bad time for tech because of all the BS that's been going on. Well, I was thinking about the 3060 Ti because better drivers and games are better optimized from NVIDIA. That is also a consideration to take into effect. When you look between 3060 Ti and the 6700 XT, most games are better optimized for NVIDIA graphics card. But also, within time, usually the 6700 or the AMD variant will get better optimized for games in the near future than what NVIDIA does. But straight out of the box, they do get better optimization. Depending on the titles that you want to play. If you're looking at titles that favor NVIDIA over AMD, it may be worth the extra dollars to spend for the 3060 Ti. Which I haven't looked at either one of them cards up lately. I don't even know what the prices are going for with them. Let's see here. Start a new build. GPU 6700 XT. Lowest price at the top. 6700 XT, you're looking at $420, $430, $440, about $440 for 6700 XT. For the 3060 Ti, or TI, however you want to pronounce it, You're looking at 450, 465, 470. Tell you the truth, that's a pretty hard decision to make. 6700 XT. That would be a pretty hard one to make. If you're looking at titles that favor NVIDIA, I'd spend a little bit extra money to get the 3060 Ti. Because a lot of games do favor NVIDIA over AMD GPUs. You are right on that. But there is a few titles out there that actually favor AMD. Them prices, they're so close together anymore. You know, you're looking at 420 up to 440 for the 6700, 3060 Ti. You're looking at 450, 460, 470, depending on which one you like. If you're gonna be playing a lot of NVIDIA titles, you'd probably be ahead to spend that extra 20 or 30 bucks. But also mentioned, you know, normally AMD drivers usually get a little bit better over time than what NVIDIA does. But that don't stop the game from being optimized for an NVIDIA graphics card either. It's kind of a personal choice between the two. Prices are different. In Costa Rica, the cheapest 3060 Ti is 6700 XT are like $600. Wow. Yeah, you're definitely in a different price bracket than what the US is then. If you're going to be playing a lot of NVIDIA titles, you'd probably be ahead to go with the 3060 Ti. You know, I'd probably spend the extra 20 or 30 bucks, 40 bucks, and get the 3060 Ti over the 6700 XT. If you know, if you prefer a NVIDIA card over, or if you're looking at just optimization form, it'd also be yeah, you're over there in the European nations. I'm not too sure on what graphics card prices look like over there. You're looking at NVIDIA graphics cards, you know, games that prefer NVIDIA. I'd go with the 3060 Ti. Like I said, even if it's like a $20 or $40 difference, you'd probably be ahead to go with the 3060 Ti. The cards both been out for a couple of years now at least, so I don't think they're ready on the patches are going to do much for the performance of the 6700. If they all run about $600 over where you're at, I go with the 3060 Ti. I will just find a better deal. Yeah, you always pick one up off the used market. I'm sure you probably find them on the used side. I know NVIDIA's lower platform, the 3060 Ti and whatnot, is still holding a pretty high premium. They haven't cut the prices on them quite as much. I think they haven't cut the prices on them as much because they're still selling at them high prices. But the 3060 Ti and the 6700 XT, I'm going to say you're probably aiming at 1440p gaming for either one of them cards probably. Or a higher refresh rate, 1080p gaming experience. Like I said, you know, if the price is $20, $40 difference, I'd buy the NVIDIA card. If I buy from used market, the GPU could have been used for mining. That's one thing to watch out for. I'm kind of on the fence about buying used mining GPUs. I've got several of them in that I've used without issues, but then I've got other ones still laying back there on the shelf that I bought during the last crypto crash, and I can't do nothing with because they got, I believe it's the memory that's been used up on them. It's just the memory ain't no good on them. I'm kind of on the fence about buying a used mining GPU. I don't know about over there in the UK or the European markets. On the US market, they're usually pretty good about saying if they've been mined on or not. But yeah, I can see your hesitation on buying from the used market because of the mining issue. Like I said, I got several of them back there I can't do nothing with. I bought at the end of last mining craze, and I'm just out the money. I didn't get them tested in time, so I couldn't send them back for a refund or nothing like that. So I'm just out. You know, there ain't a whole lot I can do with them. I mean, they make interesting paperweights, I guess, you know, but I can understand your fear of not wanting to use mining cord as well. And I believe the over there in Europe, the mining thing is a big thing that's going on. They're selling a lot of their mining cords right now. Try to get the best prices they can out of them. So yeah, I could definitely see your worry about that. Um, I know a lot of people have that fear of buying a used mining cord. Like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but it does weigh in the back of everybody's mind. But even without uploading this week, the channel's done, I guess, all right. We got 7 new community members. Like I said, welcome in if you're watching this live stream. If you're watching in the future, I'm glad you decided to join the small community I got going on here. The views is down a little bit, but that's just tech industry in a whole. We only got about 6,000 views. But I am back. I took the last couple weeks off. I've seen like people are selling their home mining rigs with 6+ GPUs for like $4,000. Yeah, a lot of people are trying to sell their complete systems that has mined with them. They've already got the money back out, and they're wanting to sell the whole system. I would definitely stay away from buying the whole systems like that. At least they're honest, they're up front. They're saying it's a mining rig, so you know the GPUs has been mined on. Depending on the GPUs and what the rest of the rig contains. But GPU is the main thing they're interested in getting the money back out of. You know, most of the processors is junk. They usually have pretty good power supplies, but the guy have pretty good power supply to be able to supply the power to the GPUs. A lot of them run a very small storage solution. You know, you don't need a whole lot of memory to run a mining formal one. So the rest of the system's pretty well junk. Besides the PSU, maybe a decent PSU, maybe. But you're also looking at a mining rig that's been running for 24/7 for the last 2 years by this point. You know, the GPUs is what's really going to be worth the money. And it depends on how long they've had the GPUs, they've been mining on them as well. It plays a big factor in it. I'll be right back, guys. The call of nature is calling. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. Mother Nature was calling. I couldn't hold it much longer. But I don't think I would invest into a 6 GPU or 6 plus GPU mining rig. Usually the memory ain't worth a diddly. Yeah, I try to stay away from buying the whole thing. Like I said, where are the news about the 4000 series and the 7000 series? The news about the 4000 series. There ain't a whole lot of rumors about them this week. The 7000 series, AMD's actually did their notes on the 7000, what you expect out of the 7000. I picked up a couple 974 gig cards, about $75 each. They're paired well with an i7 4770 and a decent budget build. That is a decent budget build. Putting the 970s with the 4770s is a pretty good build right there. Picking up $75 each is pretty good pickup, MT. But as far as the Ryzen 7000 series, the AMD has had their announcement. Let's flip you guys over here again here. They kind of came out with prices. Availability is going to be September the 27th of 2022. The 7950X is going to be about $700. 7900X is going to be about $549. 7700X is $399. 7600X is going to be about $300. Top two SKUs is about $100 less than what they came out with the 5000 series. Bottom two SKUs is about the same price as what the 5000 series launched at the competitive core count and thread count at least. Of course, to get on the 7000 series, you will need the 6000 series motherboard. I guess back up for a second. 7950X to 16 core, 32 thread, max boost 5.7 with 170 watt TDP. 7900X is 12 core, 24 thread, boost up to 5.6. There's also 170 watt TDP. The Ryzen 7 7700X is 8 core, 16 thread, boost up to 5.4 gigahertz with 105 watt TDP. 7600X is 6 core, 12 thread, launching at $299 with 105 watt TDP. You have the 5600X. Pretty well. It's gone. You're looking at like a 13. Where's it at? I know there's a photo of it down here someplace. I don't want to steer you wrong on it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? That talks about the PCI gains. We can look at the PCI gain chart here. This is a long running one. Anyway, I was looking for. But as far as the PCI, what the hell am I talking about? Where we at? I've already lost myself. The performance difference is going to be about 13% on the PCI gains, which with that and the better clock speeds, you're looking to go up to, if you're going from the 5600X, you're looking at the 7600X, you're looking at about 13% PCI gains. You're looking at 29% general gain in single-threaded workload, 45% improvement in multi-threaded workloads, and 28% performance per watt. They are going to be backwards compatible with the AM4 coolers. So if you're on the AM4 with the 5600X, you can use your same cooler, so you won't have to buy a new cooler. What do you think about the 5600X and the 3060 Ti PC? I think you'll be fine with that combination. You really ain't going to have to upgrade. If you're on the 5000 series, because of the price of DDR5 memory and the premium that they're charging for the B660, the B650 motherboards coming out, you know, they're looking at, you know, AMD came out and said the budget option for the B650 motherboards is going to be about $125 for the motherboard. They say it's going to be the starting price. The 5600X is a great little CPU for the 3060 Ti. The 5600X will not be holding back the 3060 Ti. The 3060 Ti, you'll still see the full performance out of the 3060 Ti with no problem. You got the 5600X. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to take it up to a 3070 or 3070 Ti. Tell you the truth, before the CPU starts holding you back any. You know, 6-core 12-thread processors they're still a beast. You can still put them with the mid to high tier graphics cards and still be alright with them. The PCI Express, or the PCI that we've seen improvements with the 5000 series. As far as gaming performance goes with 3060, your 3060 Ti, 3070, 3070 Ti, you're going to be great. Even the Ryzen 5 1600 is still decent for budget builds. Yeah, it is. Even the 1600, which is first gen Ryzen, they're still great as a 6-core 12-thread processor. You know, to actually get your CPU to be a bottleneck, and a lot of people overlook this, but you know, even some of the older processors like the 1600, if it's the AE or the AF, either one, it's still going to be a great processor for a gaming build. If you're going to use it for a personal rig, you still got a lot of, you still got a lot of headroom within that CPU. Now, if you're looking to flip it, I don't know if I'd actually consider a 1600 for a flip, because a lot of people are looking to buying a pre-built or a used gaming computer. You know, kind of look down on that because they don't understand how powerful them CPUs actually is, and they ain't the latest and the greatest. You know, the 1600, if I ain't mistaken, the 1600, depending on if that is the, AF, the AF's pretty well at 2600. It's pretty well at it's pretty well a 2600. If it's the AF SKU. If it's the AE SKU, it don't quite boost up as much. You know, you're looking at a 1600 AE, supposed to boost up to 3.6. I believe the AF SKU boosts up to 3.7, 3.8, I think. But anything with a 6-core 12-thread processor. Oh, well, hell, I ain't even on screen. Hold on a second, guys. There we go. But any system that's got a 64 12-thread processor, you can still hold up to a mid-range GPU, be it 3070 Ti. The 6700 XT would still be great for a 64 12-thread processor. If you're talking strictly gaming, the quad cores is not quite as good. The quad core does stick with some of the lower end GPUs. But if you got a 1600 or better, you're pretty well going to be golden for your gaming experience. Even a lot of the newer games coming out, Techway titles, is recommending 6-core 12 threads. And as long as that CPU ain't holding back the GPU, you should be fine, depending on the titles you want to play. If you look up game specs or game recommended, I don't know if I can get that pulled up or not. There's a website I normally go to for the gaming recommendations. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, though. That happens quite often. Game recommendations. What's the name of it? There's one site out there that does pretty good with the game recommendations. But you can pull them up for about any game that you want to play and see what they actually recommend. But a 6-core 12-thread processor, a lot of people overspend on the processor thinking that they need to go with 8-core 16-thread. And you really don't. Even here in 2022, you got a 6-core 12-thread processor, it can run most games at decent frame rates for you. Even if you can get your hands on them, which they're even coming far and few between. 4-core 8-thread, if you can get a 4-core with hyper-threading, they usually do pretty good as well. For your gaming needs. If you're up onto a if you're up to a as long as it ain't holding back your GPU, you're gonna be good. 6 cores is more than enough for a gaming PC. Now, if you're flipping PCs, it's a little bit of a different story because people want the latest and the greatest. Talking about selling gaming PCs, that one that I built to sell in the Deep Cool Matrix 40, I still have that PC. I've had a couple offers. I should have taken a couple of them, but I didn't. I have kind of a bottleneck. What's your bottleneck? The GPU, CPU, your bottleneck? With the 5600X? So your CPU is running, I think it's the GPU. If you run something like MSI Afterburner, which you see a lot of people do with the benchmarking videos, and that CPU ain't using 70 to 80% usage, nah, it's going to be your GPU, bud. 5600X with an RX 580. That RX 580 ain't strong enough to bottleneck at 5600X. And ain't strong enough GPU to bottleneck 5600X. If you run something like MSI Afterburner and see the percentage usage on your GPU and CPU, if your CPU ain't hitting, say, 70, 80% usage, it ain't holding back your GPU. if your GPU ain't hitting 100%, there's a couple of reasons why that may not be happening. But it should be hitting up between 80 and 100% usage. If your GPU's holding 80 to 90 to 100% usage, somewhere in them lines, your GPU is going to be a bottleneck. My GPU hits 99%. Yeah, it's going to be your GPU holding you back. At 5600X should be good. Like I said, up to a 3070 Ti before you see that 5600 holding it back. CPU's 30 to 40%. Yeah. Your CPU ain't holding you back at all. Your GPU's hitting 99%. It's going to be your GPU that's holding you back. If you want better results in your games, I don't know if you've looked at it. What's your RAM usage? If your GPU's hitting that high usage, it's going to be your GPU that's holding you back. The GPU upgrade would be definitely the path to take. If you guys been wondering where I've been, MTcoiner keep an eye on these RX 5600s and 2070 Supers. Yeah, 5600's on a pretty good deal, MT. Yeah, depending on the towers you play, that RX 580 does do pretty good, depending on the towers you play and the frame rates you expect at the resolution. I know the 5600, it's been a well overlooked card. They were a great performer. I know during the crypto mining, they was hard to come by, and they was pretty expensive. They may have came down. I haven't looked at them lately. RX 5700s have came down nicely. Oh, okay, yeah. Because last time I looked at the 5000 series GPUs, they were still fairly highly priced. Just due to the simple fact that, excuse me, they was great for mining cards. And I think it was Toasty Bros Battle video on how the 5600 was such an overlooked GPU. And I believe they're right. The 5600, if you're looking for 1080p gaming, that 5600 is a really good deal. As long as the price came down on them. PUBG, I believe that's an NVIDIA title. Maybe a little bit better to look for a NVIDIA card. Just because it favors NVIDIA GPUs. But again, yeah, you mentioned you're kind of leery about buying a used graphics card. You're looking at the 3060 Ti or the, what was it, 6700, you know, and that is an NVIDIA title. I do believe they favor NVIDIA. So I'd probably go with the 3060 Ti if you're looking to spend that kind of money on a GPU. That would be a great upgrade from the RX 580. But anyway, if you guys been wondering where I've been for the last few weeks, I took the last couple weekends off. You guys been around the channel. The weekends is what I normally do. When I do all my filming, I do my video editing, I do the live stream, I do everything on the weekends for the channel. Last couple weeks, there hasn't been a video put up. There hasn't been a live stream put up. The YouTube thing ain't working out too good for me. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been playing yard jockey. I still drive truck. But I've been playing yard jockey because I don't have my CDLs, or I didn't have my CDLs. because of my legs. But now since I've got my hips replaced, yes, I got $100 plus thousand worth of metal in my legs now. But since I've got my hips replaced, I've been able to go back and pass the DOT physical, which is a federal requirement here in the U.S. to have a CDL. The last couple weekends, I've been studying pretty hard. I've also been taking tests and whatnot to get my CDLs back. It's been a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a financial burden on me. But also, it's going to show pretty good results at the end. I did go back and get my CDLs back. Hopefully, starting next week, I'll be able to drive on the main roads again with a commercial vehicle here in the U.S. And that's going to mean about $5 on the hour pay increase. Personally, I think $5 on the hour ain't much. Times that out by a 40-hour work week, about 52 hours on the 52 weeks within the year. You're looking at a $10,000 pay increase over the year. It's gonna be pretty good for me. I was hoping I didn't have to go to that. I was hoping the YouTube thing was gonna work out for me. It hasn't been producing what I thought it was going to do. So to be able to increase my income as an individual, I took the last couple of weekends off, and I went back and got my CDLs back. That's why there hasn't been no videos up. That's why I haven't been doing the live stream. But with the money that I'm going to be making extra, hopefully I can get into a little bit better content for the channel. That kind of extra money on the month or on the year is going to give me a little bit more leadway to where I can get more stuff in here for the channel. I am fully committed to the YouTube thing. I'm not going nowhere. I'm too old. I'm too hard-headed. I've got too much money, too much time invested to go anyplace. I hope you guys didn't think I was going to hang it up, because it ain't going to happen. You ain't getting rid of me that easy. I'm a cockroach, man. It's hard to kill a cockroach. But that's where I've been for the last couple of weeks. That's why there hasn't been no videos up on the channel. That's why I haven't done the live stream for the last couple of weeks. I've been focusing on getting my CDLs back to be able to get that pay increase. I'm not going to say that the whole pay increase is going to go towards the new stuff for the channel. But hopefully, by the time that Zen 5 or Zen 4 does drop, I'm going to be able to get some of that stuff in for content. I'm going to try to focus on some of the newer stuff coming out. I know a lot of stuff on my channel is older equipment, older computer stuff. I'm going to try to focus on some of the newer stuff, try to pay out of pocket for it. The channel video coming up this week is going to be the 6400 benchmarks. I am running them on PCI 4.0. We'll be doing one that's PCI 4.0 compared to PCI 3.0. And yes, the HP, what is it? Dell Optiplex build. It is still coming along. I have been working on it. If you guys haven't been in the live stream, I kind of messed up the original Dell that I got in. So I had to do a little bit of extra order. As I thought about I may put out a video on that as well. On my struggles on trying to get an HP or a Dell Optiplex changed over to a gaming PC. But I had to order one of these bad boys for that Dell Optiplex build. This is a side of power adapter. It goes from one side of power to two. I really don't like using these in builds, but the new Optiplex I got to be able to, I need one of these to be able to power an SSD in it. Also, I had ordered a new RAM kit for that said system. The one I originally ordered, the Dell Optiplex that I ordered, had DDR3 in it. I messed up the motherboard on it. I just thought I'd order a bare bones, flip everything from the old system into the other system I bought. The other system had DDR3 memory. Everybody knows DDR3, DDR4 ain't interchangeable. So I had to go DDR4. I got two kits of DDR4 on hand, and neither one of them work. They got the one's a G-Skills kit, Ripjaws, and the other one is the A-Data kit that I got. They both got a tall heatsink on them. I put them in the system. I can't close the hard drive bays. So I spent, I forget what it was, 50 or 60 bucks for this kit of DDR4 memory for that build. That way you don't have the heat sinks on it. Low profile memory. And the power cable, it didn't have the extra SATA cable power that I needed for the SSD, so I had to reorder one of those. I just ordered a splitter for it. So that's kind of been holding up the Dell Optiplex build. And since there's been so many changes to this build, I'm not 100% sure on how to even go about the video of updating the Dell Optiplex system. I'm sure I'll come up with some way. Because originally it was going to be like a $350 gaming PC build. I gotta look up the prices yet. But I think even with that RAM kit, which gets you up to 16 gigs of RAM, dual channel, and SSD included into it, I still think that you can pick up the 6500 CPU, and I think I can still fit it at about $350 build. That's even including the RX 6400, which, like I said, I mentioned the benchmarks for it for the PCI 4.0 will be coming up this week. I do plan on cutting that back to PCI 3.0 and doing the benchmark on that as well. See what the performance loss is. Which by this point, everybody knows you're looking at usually a 10 to 20%, depending on which review video you're watching. But that's some of the stuff that's coming up on the channel. I'm still working on them. Which some of these videos would have been out if I didn't take the last couple of weeks off. But the last couple of weeks, I believe, is pretty important to me as an individual and as a YouTube channel as well. I'm hoping that the extra income that I'll be producing, I should be able to work less hours and make more money, which is always a good thing, right? That's what we all aim for. So I should be able to put a little bit more time into the YouTube and still have the money to be able to invest into the channel with some of the newer stuff coming out. It seems like that's what a lot of people want, the new stuff coming out in tech. So, yeah, we'll see how this works out for me. I think the last couple weekends, and it actually gave me a chance to, I don't know, I guess reset my batteries for the YouTube thing. You know, taking a couple weeks off, not sitting in front of a camera, talking to a camera, or talking to myself. This actually did something for my inner spirits. You know, I've been doing it for a long time. Week after week I've been doing it. Takes a lot of time to put out the videos, doing the live stream. It's kind of nice just to take a step back and relax a little bit. Even though I was still working on something different than the YouTube channel, it's still kind of nice as a creator to let my brain relax for a little bit from making videos. I'm hoping it kind of proves to be worth the while. Just picked up an Optiplex 3020 MT for a budget build. Had to cut some of the hard drive cage out to make it fit at 970. After a new paint job, new PSU, and 24-pin to 8-pin adapter, we have a gamer. There you go. Yeah, which had been alright with the first Optiplex I picked up, which was the 540. I don't know if I can pull that up or not. Listings may already be not listed on eBay anymore. I picked up a 540. I started doing a video on that one. And foolish David, I shouldn't have done it. I took the CPU out to do deep cleaning on it. Yeah, there's one of them that I bought. The 540 that I bought ain't listed. This here is the second PC that I bought for this video. Was the Dell Optiplex 550 SF Bell Brown. It has a motherboard, power supply, heatsink fan. Had the heatsink fan and chassis. It had no CPU, it has no RAM, and no hard drive in it. It did come with a DVD drive, which is pretty nice. I don't know if I can go back any further than this on my eBay account. But the other one I bought was a Optiplex 540 listing. There it is. Alright. They've already taken the listing down for it. But there's the original one I bought, was the Dell Optiplex 540 MT. It had the 6500, 8 gigs of RAM, 500 gig hard drive for $150. Brinks, I'm back. Welcome back, Brinks. Glad you decided to come back. But I paid $150 for this PC. I messed up the motherboard in this PC. I was looking for some RTX 2060, RTX 2070s to cheap prices. That's alright, buddy. I'm glad to see that you're back. I hope you found some good deals on them 2060s or 2070s. Actually, 2060s, you can still buy them new. But I was working on a video with this 540. Dumbass me. I pulled the CPU out to do deep clean on it, bent the pins in the motherboard, which completely, it wrecks the motherboard. I just didn't bend the pins. They actually pulled up out. So I got pins actually missing out of the socket on that motherboard. So I figured I'd take the i5 6500 and then the 8 gig of RAM and the 500 gig hard drive, and I would buy me another Dell Optiplex to throw it in. $60, not a bad price. And it comes with motherboard, power supply, and heatsink fan. Not bad. It does fit the 6500 into it. We'll go down and look at the listing. It is a belt burn. It does work with the 1151 CPU, like 6500, 6600, 6500T, 6600T, so on and so forth. Okay. The one I got out of the other system was 6500. So I thought I was golden. Well, nowhere in the listing does this say this thing comes that it requires DDR4 memory. I figured I'd take the CPU, the RAM, and the hard drive, or the 5040, throw it in the 5050, and have a gaming rig with the 6400. Well, that didn't quite work out to my favor. This one here, the 5050, the motherboard inside this system runs DDR4 memory. The 5040 ran DDR3 memory, even though they both take the same CPU. Okay, and by looking at this picture right there, it looks like an extra SATA port, right? For SATA power for hard drive. Wasn't thinking this thing don't come with a hard drive. That there's the power cable for the hard drive. And once I got the system in, there wasn't an extra SATA cable for the hard drive that I want to put into the system. So I had to order a splitter to be able to do that. But that still is the RAM issue. And if you look at this one, that hard drive cage sits right over top of the RAM. The two RAM kits of RAM I've got the tall heat sinks on them. And they won't, this cage right here on top will not close with the tall heat sinks on them. Instead of ripping the heat sinks off, I feel if RAM comes with heat sinks, you ought to keep them on there. I really wasn't looking to spend that much on the RAM for the system. So I had to order some other RAM for the system to fit. I went on eBay and I got the SATA power connector with no problem. I ordered that one off of eBay. I don't want to give away my personal information, so we're going to do this. The RAM I got, I believe it was on Newegg. I believe. Order history. Yeah. Being an older Intel system, this is the RAM kit I ordered. I ordered the Team Group Elite 16 gigs, DDR4. Excuse me. It's about the cheapest memory I could find. Being an older Intel system, the speed don't really mean a whole lot on it, but it does go up to 2666. And it was $53, so I ended up having to order. I ended up ordering this RAM kit. It is the basic RAM kit without the heat spreader. It would fit underneath that hard cage drive. So I ended up having to order the SATA power splitter and the RAM kit to be able to do this system. I don't know exactly how I'm going to go about doing the video for it because it is a little bit of a screwed up situation. But at the end of the day, I'll end up with a Dell Optiplex. It's upgraded to a gaming PC with the 6400 XT. All the benchmarks that I'm running on the 6400 XT right now is the Ryzen 7 5800X system that I got. That is the only system that I have that runs a PCI Gen 4. So I ended up using it for the Gen 4 benchmark. And I've already looked at it. I go into the BIOS on that motherboard and knock it down to a PCI Gen 3 interface to be able to show the differences in the two different speeds. The rest of the system is going to be exactly the same. Which is going to be this system right here. It's going to be the 5800X. It's got the Gigabyte B550 Aorus Pro in it. Got an EVGA 650 watt PSU in it. It's got a Silicon 512 gig NVMe drive. Got 16 gigs of 3600 megahertz speed, which is overclocked to the 3600 megahertz speed. Of course, I replaced the graphics card from the 5600 XT down to the 6400 XT for the testing. And it is in the test bed. It is in the Cooler Master Half X Evo case. So that is the system that the 6400 XT or the RX 6400, wrong button. There we go. That is the system that the 6400 XT benchmark being ran on. Let's see here, what all did I get done today? I ran quite a few of them today. I got a few more to do. I got to edit it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I tested 6 games so far on that system. On the PCI Gen 4 slot. I have, I think 1 or 2 more games I want to test out on it. Let's see here. Should have kept that folder open. I have tested Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Fortnite, CSGO, Heaven, and Rocket League on so far. I do have a couple other titles I want to test for that video. Also have to do the intro, the outro. Gotta do all the editing for that video. That'll be the video coming up this week. Which I got tomorrow off as well, due to being a holiday here in the U.S. If you celebrate the holiday, happy holidays to you. I don't know, what is it, Labor Day or Memorial Day, or I don't know. I don't keep up much with the holidays here in the U.S. like I should. I know the main ones, but these some ones I don't keep up with. What is it? Labor Day this weekend. Happy Labor Day to you guys to celebrate. If you're in the U.S., enjoy your extra day off. I hope y'all enjoying the holiday weekend. But that'll give me, I'm off tomorrow, so it gives me an extra day to finish up that video for the Gen 4. I may start running the benchmarks on the PCI 3.0 slot. See what the difference is. And then you got me putting the Dell Optiplex together with all the new components that I've got. I've been thinking about maybe doing a video on how not to deep clean a Dell Optiplex system since I messed up that motherboard. Gonna give you a breakdown and a step-by-step on how I came up with spending so much on this Dell Optiplex. Depending on what the prices end up being, I think it's going to be about the same price as if I would have used the 540 Optiplex system. I don't think the price is going to be much of a difference. Having to add the RAM to it and the side of the power connector, it may up the price a little bit. I think it's going to be a pretty good little budget gaming system once it's all said and done. If you're new to the live stream, I've mentioned it the last couple times I have live streamed, but it's going to probably be a month or better out before it actually happens. But I do want to give that PC away to one of you, the Dell Optiplex with the upgraded SSD and the 6400 XT in it. I know I'm way behind the curve of it, but you know, I was thinking maybe for a 1,000 subscriber or more benchmark on the channel. I don't know, maybe by then, hopefully I can get up to 3,000 subscribers. It'll be a 3,000 subscriber benchmark giveaway. Which is possible. We'll see how the next few videos do and how the channel grows between now and then. But I do want to give it away. I I will pay for all postage. It will be limited to the U.S. only. Just due to the cost of shipping to another country, I really don't want to face that. It's just an extra expense. It'll be an extra expense on whoever wins it. It will be to the U.S. continental, maybe Hawaii or Canada, but I doubt it. It'll probably be to the U.S. 48 states. I was thinking about using Gleam for the giveaway to pick a random winner. That ain't going to happen because it's going to cost me money to be able to use Gleam. Probably have you guys go to Twitter or something. I want to make sure it goes to somebody that can actually use the system. You know, I don't want you guys to have a better system than what I'm putting together to win it. You know, I want someone that can really benefit from the system to be able to win the system. I don't know. I got a keyboard and mouse back there. It's a cheapo, but it's still brand new, still in the box. Maybe I'll throw that in as well with the PC for the winner. But that will be coming up on the channel. Like I said, I got quite a few videos planned for that PC before I can actually give it away, so it's going to be a while. But it is still in the works. Excuse me, guys. I'll be right back again. Nature is calling. Alright, guys, I am back. Sorry about that little interruption. MTcoiner, if you're still in chat, still watching, buddy, I did go watch some of that video you put up on your channel. Pretty interesting. If any of you watching this, being a live stream or being a replay of it, if you're interested in Bitcoin or anything doing with the mining industry, MTcoiner's got a pretty good video that answers a lot of questions that I feel people would be questioning about Bitcoin. If I can find the link to it here, I'll put a link to it in the chat for you guys. What do I do? Misspell your name? I think I did. MTcoiner. There we go. There it is. there's a link to the video. Answers a lot of the basic questions people's got about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. If you're interested in getting into something like that. It does pretty good coverage from what I've seen of it. I watched about half hour or so of it. It's part of a live stream that he did. I'm gonna throw it out there. If you're interested in Bitcoin or how to get investing in Bitcoin or what Bitcoin is or what the mining industry even is, he covers a lot of that stuff in that video that is linked. MT, I will put a link to it in the description as well. For the people that's interested in it and considering it, pretty good information in the video from what I've seen. But yeah, you guys have anything else you want to talk about or chat about? Any questions, comments, concerns? Put it over there in chat and we'll strike up a conversation. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I think it's like two and a half hours to put up. I watched about a half hour of it. It's pretty good information. Sorry I didn't get to watch the whole thing to give you the retention time on the video. From what I've seen of it, it'd be very informational. It'd be very useful information for somebody who's getting into that. You actually answered quite a few of my questions about Bitcoin and what it actually is and how you use GPUs, make any money on it. And that was within the first half hour of the video. I don't know what the one guy's name was that was in that video with you. But he was asking for rock solid evidence of Bitcoin or how, he was wanting exact percentages and this and that. And it's kind of hard to, Bitcoin is a lot like the 401k market, stock market. Oh, excuse me. There is no definites in it. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to, it is a chance. You can make big money at it, or you can lose your ass. Just like any other stock or bond out there, if it ain't locked in at a fixed percentage rate, you take a chance of losing your money. And it's always an option to lose your money in it. I might go back and watch a little bit more of it when I get a chance, MT. Because it is pretty informative. It's pretty, it is pretty informative. It does pretty well break it down to, what it is about. And there is big chances in it, but like any other investments, especially in today's market, there's always big investments of it. Thanks, Dave. It was a long one for sure. Yeah, it was definitely a long one. But it ain't no longer what my live streams usually end up being either. I mean, you got my attention, and I wish I had enough time to actually sit there and watch the whole thing through. But I just didn't have the time to watch it all through. Like I said, I may go back and watch a little bit more of it. It definitely grabbed my attention. It was definitely something that I'm not really interested in, but I'm fascinated by, you know what I mean? And you come up with a lot of good points on it. Kind of opened my eyes to what it actually is and how people actually can make money with it. Of course, now with the crypto boom coming to an end here this month, or at least the GPU side of it, I don't know if how well it actually do, but I think it was a pretty good video. It's very, very informative video. So if you want to learn anything about crypto mining, that's a good video. It's a good place to get started. They break it down pretty well for you. Just throwing it out there for if anybody's watching this in the future or anybody's watching live now, go check it out. I don't know if I can modify the description of this video while I do this or not. But I'll definitely put a link to his video down there in the description. Let's see if YouTube's gonna let me do this. I don't know if it'll let me do it while I'm live or not. Uh-oh. Outer bear. Can't have that going on. Get another one out here. MTcoiner. Oops, not a 4, David. MTcoiner video. That should be, I don't think I pasted anything else. There we go. Alright guys, this should be in the description below if you guys like to check out that video. If you refresh the page, it should be down there. It's in the description just under MTcoiner video. Well, maybe if I spell his name right, put one too many O's in there. Alright, there we go. Now it should be down in there and saved. It kind of answered a lot of the questions that I had as far as crypto mining goes. I've talked about it on the show. Of course, everybody knows that's the big reason why GPU price has been so bad for the gamer. But it kind of opened my eyes up to a lot of what the crypto mining really is and their aspect on it. You know, I know a lot of gamers out there, which the channel is based on or focused on. There is other reasons for using a PC, just like video editing, just like creating music, anything else. You know, mining is just another way to use a PC. But yeah, that's a pretty good video. I think it's worth a watch. Hopefully I can go back there later on and watch a little bit more of that video. You definitely seem like you've done your research, MT. Seem like you definitely got a kind of a handle on what's going on with the crypto stuff. It's definitely worth a watch. Thank you for posting it. Appreciate it. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up for today, guys. I've had enough fun. Wish I could hang out a little bit longer, but I got a lot more to do. I got the rest of the video to get done up for this weekend. Like I said, I got some more benchmarks to run. I gotta do some more recording as far as the intro and the outro of the video goes. I got the video editing to do. I got all day tomorrow, but I also have 2 or 3 computers I need to repair. And also, if I get done with that video and I get that one done, I can start on the next one. And I start running the benchmark for the PCI 3.0 with the 6400 XT for the comparisons. Maybe putting the Dell Optiplex together with that video card and everything that I put together that I had to scrounge up. Maybe put some thought in behind how I'm going to actually do that video. Because it definitely ain't a cut and dry video like I normally do. There's a few mixes and a few twists in it. I don't expect very many views on it. It was more of the other guy's channel. It has thousands of views on it. Almost none of those people understand crypto, so those are the audience I was after. Yeah, that video you put out, MT, it's very informative on it. And the gamer, which I don't get to do a whole lot of, you know, a lot of people are as quick. And if you haven't noticed, I don't like pointing the finger at the miners for eating up the GPUs. They're using the resources. To me, it's more NVIDIA and AMD on my side. You know, the people that produce the video cards, while we haven't had video cards. And a lot of people don't understand it. I didn't understand a whole lot about it till I watched some of that video. But I don't like pointing the fingers, even after the last 2 years of what we went through with the GPU shortage. I don't like pointing towards the miner in particular. It's more the big companies selling them out the back door to the crypto miners and not even putting them on the market for anybody to be able to buy. As far as GPUs go. And I think the crypto is misunderstood a lot. I don't think a lot of people understand it. A lot of people, they're just like anything else in life, you know, the ignorance, your ignorance don't mean that it's fact, you know. If you don't do the research, you don't know what's going on with it. You know, people don't understand it. You know, and the crypto mining is something that's fairly new. It's been around for what, 7, 8 years now. But a lot of people don't understand it. They don't understand what's going on with it. You know, a lot of people have even jumped into crypto mining with GPUs in the last couple of years. You know, it's an easy way to make money. There's a lot more behind it than that. And that video does a lot to kind of explain that to you. You know, and I've never really did the research. I've never took the time to really research into the crypto mining. I really wasn't sure on what it was. I knew you take a GPU and make money. But, you know, that video actually opened my eyes up to what's actually going on behind the scenes a little bit and explain a little bit more than what I've ever really investigated. And it's because you, MT. You're the only reason I even started to watch that video. And I think a lot of gamers need to understand what's going on with crypto and how it works before they actually start pointing the fingers towards the crypto miners buying up all the GPUs in the last couple of years. You know, it is one of them, it is what it is things, and ignorance can be bliss. You know, if you don't research it, you don't know what's going on the other side. You don't get opinions from the other side. You know, there's an old saying goes around, especially in the ports that I'm from, and there's 3 sides to every story. There's his side, then there's the other guy's side, and then there's the truth. And that truth is what a lot of people don't understand. You know, and them three stories don't always exactly match up to be what it really is. And I think crypto is one of them things that's still new that a lot of people don't understand yet. And I think a lot of people could benefit from understanding it before they start pointing fingers. Yes, it's an easy way to make money when it starts booming like it did in the last couple of years. Mr. Spidey, what's up? What's up? You're in the house, and you're right, I am an old man. Maxter's in the house. What's going on, Maxter? Welcome. You can finally get in and catch up with me, buddy. Hope y'all's having a good weekend. Maxter, I doubt if you are. Mr. Spidey, not too sure about you or where you're from, but welcome in. I hope you guys are enjoying the weekend here in the U.S. Maxter, I doubt if you're celebrating the U.S. holidays. You're from over the pond over there. I'm glad you guys caught up with me, hang out with me here. But I do believe that crypto is very misunderstood. A lot of people see it as an easy way to make money, but it goes a lot further than that. I think that'd be a pretty good video to watch if you have any questions about crypto. All good, Dave. Hope you're too. Just back from the holiday, so just chilling out. That's good, buddy. I hope you're doing. Hope you're enjoying your chilling time and you're hanging out. What holiday you got over there, Maxer? I don't know if you guys celebrate the Labor Day over there or not. I know here in the U.S. it's the Labor Day weekend. I don't know if you guys celebrate that over there or not, because you're from the other side of the pond. Welcome in, Spidey. I'm glad you decided to hang out with me today. Glad you could join me. Yeah, guys, I think I'm about ready to hang up for the day, yo. I've had enough fun. Like I was saying, I got a lot going on today. Got to finish up the video for this week. Make sure I got time to get it done. I do have tomorrow off. The videos that I'm working on do take a while to get them put out. You know, I hate to see you guys come in here towards the end of it all. Kind of bites. You couldn't hang out with me a little bit earlier. It looks like there's only about 2 of you watching. I'm not too sure on who's still here and who ain't. But I do appreciate y'all stopping in this weekend. Being a 3-day weekend like it is. So you're here in the U.S. It's kind of hard to make time for something like this. But I appreciate you guys' dedication to the channel and supporting me. Make it in for the weekend. I'm going to go back to doing some more benchmarking and try to get this video up for this week. I got some other side projects here around the house that I need to get done. Oh, excuse me. I got a couple other computers that need to get done up. I got a couple computer jobs in that I need to get finished up. So I think I'm going to hang up for this weekend. If you guys enjoy the live stream, or the replay of the live stream, make sure you get down and hit that like button. There is links down there for the 3 articles I talked about this week. Make sure you look them up there in Tom's Hardware, MTcoiner. Your video is also linked in that description. Hopefully it brings you a few views. I don't know how good I am, but I guess time will tell, alright? Don't forget to do all that fun YouTube stuff on your way out here, especially that like button, that subscribe button if you ain't already there. Notification bell where you're notified when the videos drop that I've talked about in today's live stream. You all enjoy the rest of your 3-day vacation here, or 3-day holiday. You all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream.